This is the type of shot when he won in China he was knocking in with monotonous regularity, but he seems to be just hitting them well. It's JV. I don't even think you could have pulled that trick shot off. That's one of the best you'll ever see. He hit it so hard. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen this happen before. Have a look at this.
You won't see many better flukes than this, will you?
Look at that, eh?
What happened next?
Cleared the table.
You can't beat a bit of luck.
But that, I've noticed that's just the one thing, that he's just hitting them harder than he's intending to do. Switches to the right hand when he uses the rest. A lot of left-handed players used to do that. And with Tony Mayo from the World Doubles with Steve Davis on 6 occasions, left-handed. Of course, I didn't mention him earlier when we talked about left-handed players. Tony Mayo, great left-handed player. He'll be trying to get up onto that red that's near the black spot as soon as he can. There's others available to him, but if he could get on that and get the black back onto its spot.
Can we put the sweets away, please, on the top? Thank you.
Somebody's got their sweeties out. Jan Verhaas just saying, can you put your sweets away?
8.
As long as he didn't do it. Remember John Street, God bless him, the great referee. Somebody was rattling the sweet and he said to the fella, could you keep that bag quiet, please? It was the sweetie bag he was talking about.
9.
Not ideal on this pink. If it had been straighter, then he could have played for that red that Dennis mentioned a few moments ago, the one just above the black, but he's not straight enough on it just to roll the pink in and get on that red. So just slightly out of position. Needs a good recovery shot here. Pink's easy enough. Can he manoeuvre the cue ball? Looks pretty good. And the pink spot not available. The highest available
15.
is the blue spot, which doesn't cause a problem for Judd.
16.
Pretty good break builder, this young player. He's made 26 centuries this season already, so he's 4 centuries ahead of Neil Robertson. He's let that run a little bit too far. It's quite a lively cloth, this, and he hasn't even thought about it. Now the pink won't pot, so if he drops the red in, the pink doesn't pass. But if he was straighter on the red, he'd have been okay, because the black is available, but he's now got to... Well, he was okay. It was enough
23.
angle to leave himself on the black. Don't think the pink passes the black. Maybe it does.
Black ball.
He's taking the black, though, even though the pink does go. Black will go up onto the blue spot. And one good positional shot here. He'll be opening the reds. If he comes back nicely onto the pink, great chance.
$31.
Decides to do it with pushing through it. It hasn't opened the reds as much playing it that way.
Yeah, the crucible grown, wasn't there? Everybody thought that might not just drop, but in it did. And just referring to Judd Trump's century breaks, he turned professional in 2005 and he's broke through the 100th century barrier. He's now made 101 in his career, which is some going. And when you consider that Neil Robertson, who turned professional in 1998, has 157 career centuries, it just shows you what a remarkable talent this young man is. A little bit raw still, but raw natural ability can get you by.
Rob Walker introduces him as Haircut 100. I remember, JV, when you used to have your hair like that, back in the 70s.
45.
Well, not exactly like that, Dennis, but
Yeah, after you'd just got out of bed, I
46.
was talking about, JV.
now, interesting little shot now. There's a little gap. If he could manoeuvre that cue ball through that gap, he should be on a choice of reds. If he'll get this right, he could set up a frame-winning chance. Well, he didn't quite find the gap, but he just missed over red, but it's made no difference. He wanted to just
52.
miss that one, but that's okay.
53.
It's always nice to win a frame in one visit, and he's got a chance of doing that here.
Yeah, I mentioned his highest break in the 4 opening frames was 34. We got a lot of fizz on that. He's just about okay. That was played
59.
reverse side and seemed to come off the cushion just a little bit quicker than it went onto it.
60.
Well, left himself slightly straightish on this. Should be okay, but you got to try and keep it nice and simple. But you can say one thing for certain: Judd Trump has now settled
66.
down, and we're in for a cracker here. You'd feel, what an opening first round match we've got on our hands here.
That's
67.
the one that puts him in the snooker's required stage. 67 points in front. There's just 59 left on the table. Neil Robertson had a chance of a century in the last frame. Didn't quite manage it.
Just 1 second, sorry.
He'd be a little surprised if Judd Trump didn't make a century now. And what a start that would be to his campaign.
73. $74.
Yet to have a century in this opening day's play. This could well be the first, JV.
Yes, and he's taken them really well. This is
80.
a measure of the talent of this young man.
$81.
And this might inspire Neil Robertson, believe it or not. Although he's at
87.
72 and a 79, I think the standard's going to get better now. The nerves have
88.
settled, and this is great stuff from this young player from Bristol.
Yes, I agree with you, because the mentality of a snooker player is once your
94.
opponent starts playing well, then you can lose a bit of your nerves, because you know the
95.
only way to win the match is for you to play well. But the black for the ton. Well played. Well played, and as you say, Dennis, that was settling down. That's his 102nd century of his career,
104.
and he's first at the Crucible. He'd never made one before. He's only been here once previous. That was 2007.
107.
He's lost in the qualifying stages the last few years, which has been a disappointment to everybody with the reputation he's been building up.
111.
Trick shot. Watch the white now.
116.
Side on it.
Brilliant. Well, to the exhibition show.